If you left the theater after Superman 2025 without staying for the post-credit scene, you just missed the most game-changing moment in the entire DC Universe reboot, because that 47-second clip wasn't just a fun tease, it was a seismic signal of what's coming next, and if you didn't catch all the subtle clues packed into that short sequence, you're already behind on what could be DC's biggest narrative shift in years. The scene begins in a dimly lit corridor inside what appears to be a secret underground facility, not unlike the ones previously hinted in earlier DC films, and as the camera pans slowly through the flickering lights and the eerie hum of machinery, we suddenly hear a familiar voice, calm, calculating, and chilling. And although no name is mentioned, fans immediately recognize the cold menace of Lex Luthor's tone, now seemingly pulling the strings from the shadows, his figure barely visible behind the glass. And just as the realization hits, the camera cuts to a security feed showing a containment cell labeled Project Omega, which longtime comic fans will instantly associate with the apocalyptic storylines involving Darkseid and the New Gods, raising the question: has Lex discovered a threat that even Superman can't handle alone, or is he unleashing it himself for control? And in that split second of implication, everything changes. Because this isn't just about one villain or one story arc anymore. It's about laying the foundation for a layered, interconnected DC universe that dives deep into cosmic conflicts, ethical dilemmas, and psychological warfare between characters like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, who must now grapple not only with external threats, but also their own inner darkness, all while facing a world that no longer believes in traditional heroes. The symbolism in the scene is staggering. The Omega symbol isn't just a tease. It's a statement that the DC multiverse is officially wide open, and while Marvel once dominated with its post-credit world-building, DC just fired a warning shot that their stories are about to get bigger, bolder, and far more unpredictable, especially under the direction of James Gunn, whose creative fingerprints are all over this moment, from the dialogue to the pacing to the way it seamlessly connects to both past and future threads in the DC timeline, and the biggest twist. As the screen fades to black, we hear a distorted, glitchy voice say, "He doesn't belong in this world," followed by static and a flash of a figure wearing a dark suit and glowing red eyes, which many believe to be Ultraman, the evil version of Superman from Earth 3, a character whose introduction could shatter our entire understanding of morality in the DCU. Because if Gunn is brave enough to pit Superman against a version of himself corrupted by power and ego, it opens the door to philosophical battles more intense than any superpowered punch, and for those who think this is just fan theory, think again, because if you freeze frame the last few seconds, you'll spot a barely visible logo resembling the Injustice Society, buried in the static, almost subliminally, which directly connects to the rumored plans for a live-action multiverse war that could span across future Justice League, Teen Titans, and even Suicide Squad spin-offs. And let's not ignore the musical score in the scene, subtle yet intense, using an orchestral motif that mirrors the theme used in Man of Steel, suggesting this version of Superman is about to face challenges that go beyond physical strength, into the realm of moral collapse, identity crisis, and existential threat. And the brilliance of this post-credit moment is that it doesn't spoon-feed the audience, it respects their intelligence, challenging fans to dig deeper, to rewind, to research, and to anticipate what's coming, creating the kind of fandom engagement that builds long-term loyalty, much like Marvel did in its Phase 1 build-up, but now with a darker, more grounded tone, rooted in political intrigue, mythology, and raw emotion. And if you thought the DCU was done taking risks, this scene proves otherwise. It's setting up not just one movie, but a saga, a tapestry of characters and choices that will test the very essence of heroism. Because at the heart of it all, Superman is no longer just a savior in a cape. He's a symbol of hope, contradiction, and consequence, and this post-credit scene might be the start of DC's boldest era yet, where nothing is off-limits, redemption and ruin coexist, and fans are treated not just to explosions and action, but to layered storytelling that respects its roots while rewriting its future.